everyone, welcome to another edition of Out of My Stable. The vlog we're going to do today is just on our horses changing shape. As you know, it's spring, and spring means lots of grass in warmer days, but it can also mean our horses putting on weight. We've been going around saddle fitting the last couple of weeks and seeing horses really putting on a lot of fat over the back, down their tummy, so that is actually changing how their saddles will fit. So it's very, very important that we actually show you how your gullet angle is meant to match the size of your horse and how to use the weight tape as well to actually measure what's going on, so you can check throughout the season and make sure nothing's going wrong. So guys, this is actually a naked tree. This is what actually sits inside your saddle, and as you can see from the front here, Artie's quite curious about this as well. There's actually a metal gullet plate in here. Now, depending on the tree, some of them are changeable by you. You can unscrew them, put a new one in, screw it back up. A lot of them can be changed by an actual saddler on a machine. Either way, this angle is really important. If you imagine, our saddle actually sits up here like this. And this gullet plate actually presses down here. So with the weight of a rider on board, if this tree shape doesn't match your horse's back, he's actually going to get a lot of pressure. And this gullet angle is really important. The horse has trapezius muscle across here, and they can often get very sore. You often see horses that actually have a lot of pain in this area and muscle loss because of ill-fitting gullet plates. So you can see that lovely piece of metal is likely to dig in here with the weight of a rider on board if the angle is not correct. So let me show you a few different gullet plates and how you can actually check the angles for yourself. Right, so these are just a couple of gullet plates. We have a medium narrow, and this is actually a medium wide. You can see if we put the medium narrow up on the horse here, can you see that the angle of this is actually narrower than the angle of the horse's back? If we had too narrow a gullet on the horse's saddle and actually press down, you can see that we're going to have more pressure at the base of the point and not an even spread of pressure. So as he goes to actually move, this is going to cause him a considerable amount of pain. We have a little look. I think this horse is actually a medium wide. Well, in fact, he may have even put on a bit of weight. He's starting to look a little bit wider than that now. So what we're trying to achieve is the same amount of pressure from the top all the way through to the bottom of the gullet plate. Now, Artie's had a fabulous spring so far as well. He's been on a bit of holidays while I've been overseas, and it does actually look like he's put on a little bit more weight. So I suspect that he's actually a gullet plate above this one, which is a wide. There's a few ways you can actually measure your horse's angle through here, or his gullet angle, and across his wither pockets and wither. You can get one of these guys. This is called a flexi curve. It's actually a draftsman's ruler, and you can get it from, places like office supplies and things like that. You could actually just use a piece of wire that's bendable. Any of those things will actually do it for you. So pretty much it's a matter of sitting across your horse's back. You want to be about 2 inches behind the horse's scapula. This is his shoulder blade here, because that's actually where the gullet in the saddle sits. Sorry, Artie, I'm pressing a little hard on him. So you can, with these guys, you can just smooth them down. If you've got a helper or a crate, you can stand up above and make sure that the angles are the same on both sides. Once we've actually smoothed it down and pulled it off, you can actually see the shape of your horse. Now, an easy thing to do is actually to go and match that to your saddle. And I line up the angle on one side, and I can already see that this is starting to go further out on the other side. It's a little bit harder with this. If I had a bendy stick, you'd actually see it a little bit better. When you say stick. Now, if we actually lift up the flap, you can actually see a little pocket in here on a lot of your saddles. This one actually isn't quite so visible. And you'll actually be able to see the metal plate just visible at the top there, and you'll get an idea of the angle that it's coming down at. If you stand to the front, you can actually lift it up, look at the metal plate, and look to see if it's matching the angle of your horse's shoulders as well, or just behind the horse's shoulders. You can also So run your hand down from the top to the bottom really slowly and have a feel for pressure. If it's too narrow, you'll actually feel more pressure at the base of the point, and there'll be a gap at the top as well. If it's too wide, the opposite's going to happen. You'll feel a lot of pressure up at the top here and less pressure at the base of the point. You'll also notice from the side, you come around to the side for me. You'll also notice from the side, if your gullet angle was too narrow, the saddle's likely to be sitting up like this with the balance point too far back. Now the balance point is the flattest part of your seat. Like this is actually going to tip your rider back and put your lower leg forward. And you'll also find that you get too much pressure at the back of the saddle. The horse will be quite uncomfortable behind. If it's too wide, the opposite's going to happen. It's going to sit down in front. You'll probably lose the clearance you have between your horse's wither and the pommel of the saddle. And the balance point will shift too far forward and tip the rider forward, and the lower leg will come too far back. Either way, it's going to be an uncomfortable ride for both you and the horse. So guys, this is a weight tape. I'm not sure I've ever put one of these on Artie before. You might get a little bit frightened. I actually see it has numbers on it. It corresponds to the kilos that your horse is. Pop it across his back. I'll just slide it through. Good boy. Now, there's a few different ways of measuring your horse's weight. You can find the back of his shoulder and come a couple of inches back. You can keep it on top of his wither while you do that and just pull it a little bit firm, just so it starts to indent the hair. The most important thing, if you're going to be weight taping your own horse, is that you do it consistently every time. And it's a good idea, especially in times like these, to at least do your horse once a month and just check how he's changing weight. So Artie here, if I pull it a little bit firm, is about 630 kilos. Now that's pretty much right for him. He's 16'2", he's a warm blood and he's a very well built horse. Now, if your horse has a very tall wither and it slides off the wither, you could let it come to the back there of his wither, and again, pull it firm. Now, the reading's a tiny bit different. It's about 620 there. But again, it's really not such a significant difference as long as you do it consistently in this way every single time. And just take a little rest up in weight again from here. It's likely he's going to put weight through here and he's going to go up a gullet size, so he's going to need an extra wide. Now, we need to check that because you know it's going to alter the fit of his saddle. Now, hopefully he's going to get a little bit more fit, he's going to drop some weight now, and he's going to go back down to his medium wide gullet. And I want to know when that happens so I can actually change the gullet in his saddle. Then he's going to be a happy horse as he gets fit. Okay guys, I hope that was really helpful. It's our responsibility, obviously, to make sure that we're checking our horse's weight and their saddle fit so they can stay comfortable and perform to their highest ability. It's also pretty important, I guess, not only from a saddle fit perspective, but from a health perspective, when we've got this much grass around in spring, to make sure we keep an eye on their weight so we don't run the risk of horses getting laminitis. Also, that horse is not necessarily a happy horse because it's harder for him to do his work. And Artie's finding a bit of a struggle at the moment. So until next time, keep an eye on your horse's weight, check your horse's saddle fit, and hopefully we can improve our partnership and you can all go out and have a wonderful